Hello folks and welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do it now and hit the bell icon to get instant updates. Today I'll be showing you how to make these cute little pumpkin earrings. Well, they look more like oranges, but it's still gonna pass them on like pumpkins. So as you can see the texture on the back, it's a few diagonal lines with a nice twist in them. So I'll show you how to do this. It's really simple. The only thing is that I'm using a very small hook and a very fine yarn. So keeping that in place is a little tricky. Other than that, the earrings are really cute. So let's get started. So I'll be using these two yarns. One is a shade in orange or yellow and the other one is in green. So I'm going to start off with the yellow one and I'm using a 2mm crochet hook. So we start off by making a slip knot and then make your foundation chain. You have to make 11 chains. So yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we work our first half double crochet into the fourth chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth chain from the hook. Yarn over, insert the hook in the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. This is your first half double crochet. The chain 3 at the start is considered the first stitch, so we're going to place a stitch marker on the top of the third chain. So try to go under both loops and place your stitch marker. So now you can see we have got the stitch marker on the top of the third chain and then you have your first half double crochet. Now make 1 half double crochet in each of the remaining chains. You will have 8 half double crochet stitches and 1 chain 3, which is your 9th stitch. So at the end of the row, chain 1 and turn your work. So on this side we're going to start with an increase. So yarn over, go under both loops of your first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So this is your first half double crochet. Now yarn over and make another half double crochet in the same space. So I'm going to place a stitch marker in the first half double crochet. I'm trying to pick up both loops. It's really tiny, so it's taking some time. Next we're going to make 1 half double crochet in each stitch until the second last stitch, and we'll be working in the back loop only. So yarn over and go into that back loop and make your half double crochet. So here I am left with 2 stitches, second last stitch and the stitch where I have my stitch marker. So yarn over and go into that second last stitch, back loop only. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Do not complete your half double crochet over here. Now yarn over and we're going to go under both loops of the stitch where we have our stitch marker. So I'm going to just release the stitch marker. Now go under both loops. Yarn over and pull up a loop. So here you can see I have 5 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. And this is your decrease of a half double crochet. So at the end of the row, again you have a count of 9 half double crochets. So once you've completed the row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now again over here we need to start with a decrease. So go under both loops of the first stitch. Yes, yarn over first. Go into both loops of the first stitch. You can see the first stitch over here. So yarn over, go under both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over again, and then go in the front stitch. So you had the 2 stitches on top, and there's a front stitch. If you tilt your work to the side, you can see these front loops over here. So we're going to yarn over and go into that front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 5. I'm going to place my stitch marker in the top of the stitch. So on this side we'll be making the decreases, and on the other side we'll always be making an increase. We will end with an increase and start with an increase for the other side, and for this side we will always be working a decrease. Now working in those front loops, we'll be making our half double crochets. So the front loops are basically on the side of the work, they're not on top. So we're not going to be working on the top 2 stitches. We'll work in the front loops only on this side. This will help you get the texture on one side of the pumpkin, and when you do the final stitching, this side is going to be your right side. So here I've made my half double crochet in the front loop, and now for the stitch marker, I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and in this stitch I'll be making 2 half double crochets, which is an increase. So this is one, and this is the second one. Now again, this is the end of the row, and you can see the texture over here. Now chain 1 and turn your work. So in the first stitch we're going to be making an increase. So yarn over and make an increase in that first stitch. So 1 and 2 half double crochets in this stitch. Place your stitch marker in the first half double crochet. Now we'll be making our half double crochet in the back loops of the next stitches. So over here you can see the texture of those lines coming up, forming on this side of your work. I'll be completing a total of 9 rows, and I'll come back with my work. So here I'm back with my work, and I've completed 9 rows over here. So now I'm going to remove the stitch marker and chain 1 and cut off the extra yarn, leaving a long tail. So pull it through and secure the knot. Now you can see this texture. This is going to be the inner side, and this is the outer side, the external side of your work with all the texture on it. So fold your work like this. Make sure to get the edges straight and equal, and we're going to weave in the sides, closing the sides together. So go into the first stitch under both loops, and then pick up a stitch from the other side and pull your yarn through. So this is going to be just in and out from one side to the other, and make sure you're keeping the stitches together. So there are 9 stitches that you have in total, and you're just going to go in and out from each side with the help of your needle and close on the edge over here. So now before we start to close the outer and bottom edge of our work, we're going to make a knot over here. So make a knot with your needle and then pull the yarn through that space. So this will help you keep the yarn secure where you've done the sides. And now for the bottom edge, we're going to make a few stitches on the sides like this, going in and out around the whole circle. Just pick up a few stitches, and then you're back on the same side where you started, the same spot over here. And I'm going to pull this yarn, so the knot we made, it will help us to keep the sides secure. It's not going to pull the sides, it's just going to pull the bottom edge of the work. Just pull it through and make sure that there's no gap in the center, and then again make a knot like this. Make a loop and then pull the yarn through that loop and secure your work. So now place the needle in the center and pull it through the whole length so it comes out from the other side. So before we begin closing the top end, make a knot over here so that the yarn inside is loose enough and it's not distorting the shape of your earring. So now we're going to stuff in some of my stuffing over here. So make sure it is nice and stuffed. Once you're happy with the stuffing, we're going to make a running stitch all around the work, the top end. So when you're back on the same spot you started, just pull your yarn, push the stuffing in if it's coming out, and then close the top end. So this is the shape you'll get on the outer side. So now just make another knot over here to secure your yarn. So I'm going to weave in that small end which was a starting tail over here, and I'm going to leave the other end still undone because I want to attach the earring loop over here. Now I'm going to make a leafy structure for the top of the pumpkin. So I'm going to be using my green yarn over here, starting with a slip knot. Secure the knot on your hook and chain 13. Now in the second chain from the hook, make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now make 3 single crochets in the next chain and repeat this for entire row, which will be 12 chains, and you'll be making 3 single crochet in each chain. Chain 1 at the end and then cut off the extra yarn and pull to secure the work. So your work is going to form a twist over here, like similar to what I've done over here, like this. And now we're going to attach this to the top of our pumpkin. So you can use either the green yarn to weave in so that the top is secure, or you can use the yellow one. So I'm going to be using the yellow one for my earring loop, so I'm just going to weave in using the green yarn. So I've weaved it in and I've tied a knot. And just settle it on the top any shape you like. So after I weaved in the green yarn, now I'm going to attach the earring loop over here with the yellow yarn. So just pull it through the center of your earring loop, which is a small loop at the bottom of the earring, and then pull it on top where you want it and secure your work. I'm just going to go in and out a couple of times through that loop so that it's nice and secure. And then weave in the extra end and then cut off the extra yarn. So here's the finished look of my earring. You can squeeze the orange part to make it look more like a pumpkin. And if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.